But Namath has not been bashful this week. He has said that the Jets are going to win. He doesn't even predict it. He said, I guarantee.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Super Bowl controversies of all time.
We think it's a bad call. If Hasselbeck is making a tackle, he can go low.
For this list, we'll be ranking the most controversial stories surrounding the big game. Were you familiar with any of these? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Poor Sport Patriots. Super Bowl 42. The heat surrounding the Spygate scandal for the New England Patriots had barely cooled off in 2008 before yet another controversy made headlines.
Regardless, it does not look good for the Patriots here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good for the Patriots because when you think about the Patriots, you think about the history over the last few years of some of the other incidents that they have been involved in.
This brought up similar allegations against New England from Super Bowl 37, when the Pats faced the St. Louis Rams. The Rams called foul against coach Bill Belichick and his organization after allegations arose against New England's Super Bowl activities.
If we were wrong, then we've been disciplined for that.
A source claimed that a Patriots employee had secretly taped pregame Rams strategy prior to the game. This cast an even longer shadow against the undeniably successful Patriots, further tarnishing their winning legacy.
Well, here are the New England Patriots, one win away from the second perfect season in NFL history.
Number 9. Blackout. Super Bowl 47. A lot of incredible things can happen during a Super Bowl game, but this is probably not what those in attendance had in mind during Super Bowl 47.
They start with two tight ends, Davis and Walker.
That's because this matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers actually had to be delayed thanks to a blackout. The loss of power resulted in 34 minutes being lost, and there were a lot of pointed fingers and accusations tossed around after the fact. In the end, the New Orleans Mercedes-Benz Superdome suffered from issues with its electrical systems, with some interconnection equipment failing on site.
They must be going nuts inside the control room.
It was pretty surreal to be in there.
Number 8. Triple X content. Super Bowl 43. The stadium audience here at this Super Bowl bout between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals may not have seen anything, but some viewers definitely got an eyeful on this night back in 2009.
30, 20, 10, Arizona has the lead.
Specifically, Comcast customers in and around the Tucson, Arizona area had their analog broadcast of the Super Bowl interrupted by a hacker named Frank Tenori Gonzalez.
It took 2 full years for the FBI to finally find their culprit, Frank Gonzalez, a longtime engineer at Cox Cable.
The FBI and Tucson police collaborated in an investigation that revealed Gonzalez fed adult content from the Playboy channel into viewers' homes. He was arrested and sentenced to 3 years probation for the incident.
The really bizarre thing about this story, we're a decade later, it's still not clear why he decided to hack into that Super Bowl broadcast in the first place.
Number 7. Jim McMahon's bad behavior. Super Bowl 20. The 1986 Chicago Bears were the sort of team that featured larger-than-life personalities. As a result, they entered the cultural zeitgeist of the time thanks to publicity stunts like their hit song, The Super Bowl Shuffle.
I'm Samurai Mike, I stop 'em cold. Part of the defense, big and bold.
One lightning rod for controversy was Bears quarterback Jim McMahon, an unabashed bad boy who relished the spotlight and didn't shy away from making some outlandish statements.
He was a 1980s John Hughes movie antagonist looking dude. Like, he looked like a bad guy in one of those movies. The headbands, that jaw.
With his Ray-Bans on, you knew there was going to be a bud in his hand seconds after the game finished.
The week prior to Super Bowl 20 was full of bad behavior from McMahon, but one incident in particular was directed at the media pool. The brutish QB pulled his pants down and mooned a press helicopter that was flying above, giving just about everyone in attendance a huge eyeful.
He played like he didn't give a crap about how people perceived him, how he went over with society.
Just let them know where it hurt.
Number 6. Barrett Robbins disappears. Super Bowl 37. It's very important that you have all your players ready to go before a Super Bowl. This should go without saying. But Super Bowl 37 made headlines for one strange and high-profile incident.
It was Bruce Allen calling me.
Bruce Allen, the Raiders executive.
Yes, asking me, where's our guy? And my stomach just went to my toes. And he goes, he didn't show up for meetings this morning.
It involved Oakland Raiders player Barrett Robbins, who disappeared the day before the game. After a search, Robbins was found to have actually skipped across the border to Tijuana, Mexico.
One thing led to another, went out, partied all night, partied all day. You know, ended up in a hotel with some other ex-players.
He did this because he mistakenly thought his team had actually already won the Super Bowl. Robbins' treatment at a local hospital resulted in a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, and it was a resulting manic episode that led to the player's disappearance.
If when I go into a manic episode, I can ask for help, I'd be okay. But when I go into a manic episode, it's not in me to ask for help. It doesn't happen that way.
Number 5, Stanley Wilson caught, Super Bowl 23. Our next entry also has to do with the pregame Super Bowl controversy, but this incident was a little different. It occurred when Cincinnati Bengals fullback Stanley Wilson was caught the day before the big game with illegal narcotics in his hotel room.
There was a lot of pain, there was a lot of frustration.
A lot of the players took their playbooks and slammed them on the ground, their heads went down, and they just they got kicked in the gut.
Wilson faced severe and stiff penalties as a result of this infraction. Not only was the Bengal not allowed to play in the Super Bowl, but he was also banned from playing full stop.
The league announcing today that fullback Stanley Wilson cannot play in the Super Bowl. He is suspended for violating the league's substance abuse policy.
This was a result of Wilson consistently failing drug policies within the league. In other words, this was his last straw.
Stanley Wilson has been suspended 3 times. He was suspended in 1984. He also sat out all of the 87 season. He came back this year. Now, whether or not Stanley Wilson has a future in the NFL will be decided by the league in the weeks ahead.
Number 4, wardrobe malfunction, Super Bowl 38. This might be the most well-known Super Bowl controversy on this list, and perhaps one of the most viewed halftime show gaffes ever. It was the incident that helped popularize the term wardrobe malfunction, and it occurred during a performance featuring Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Let me rock your body. Come on and dance with me.
There's been a lot of back and forth over the years as to whether or not the event was accidental or some kind of intentional plan. What is certain is that a certain part of Janet, Miss Jackson if you're nasty, was exposed during her performance, bringing the entire halftime show into the realm of infamy.
She questions why she was blacklisted, at least temporarily, while Timberlake, who apologized for his role, went on to have a flourishing career.
Number 3, officiating issues, Super Bowl 40. We've had a lot of extracurricular activity dominate this discussion of controversies, so now it's time to bring it back to the game itself.
And Super Bowl 40 underway in Detroit. The kick goes to the 3-yard line.
Specifically, it was the officiating of Super Bowl 40 that everyone was talking about after said game. Were the NFL officials intentionally making calls to penalize the Seattle Seahawks?
2 big penalties have cost Seattle 2 big plays in the first quarter, with just 2 minutes to go.
The problem with Jackson on that play was right in front of the official, but again, he was finished running his pattern.
Some seem to think so, while others claim that the Steelers were also victims of bum calls. Still, others chalked up the officiating on this night to just being plain bad. The NFL, for its part, defended its officials, although this didn't stop both players, fans, and media personalities alike from talking about what went down.
NFL ref Bill Levy, who is best remembered for making a couple of crucial yet bad calls in Super Bowl 40 between the Steelers and Seahawks, is being taken off the field. Levy will assume a new role in 2015 as a supervisor within the league's officiating department.
Number 2, Eugene Robinson arrested, Super Bowl 33. Eugene Robinson was a safety for the Atlanta Falcons, ready to take on the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 33.
Corey James holding. And the kick sails down to Tim Dwight at about the 6.
He also woke up on the day of January 30th, 1999, ready to receive the Bart Starr Award from the NFL due to his high moral character. Then, that same night, Robinson was arrested for soliciting prostitution.
It was painful, man. I cried the entire night, that night. You know, and I'm like, how did I get way over here when I was way over here. How did he get so far over there? Well, it's easy to lose your way when you're selfish.
The woman in question was an undercover cop, and the incident quickly made the rounds on all major sports media outlets. Robinson still played in the game, but that Bart Starr Award sure took on a whole new meaning, huh?
Atlanta is not ready on defense.
And that's exactly what Rod Smith does. You see, he gets by Eugene Robinson. John Elway was running a bootleg. He was running to his right, and he threw a perfect strike to Rod Smith.
Number 1. Joe Namath Guarantee, Super Bowl III. It was the prediction heard round the world from one of the biggest mouths in the game.
I think mentally, throwing the football, well, I feel confident I can play better than anybody that's ever played the position.
Broadway Joe Namath was his name, and he unequivocally promised that his underdog New York Jets were going to win Super Bowl III against their opponents, the Baltimore Colts. Braggadocio is one thing, but guaranteeing a win is not only ballsy, it's borderline insulting.
And I had a terrific attitude about that game.
I know we're going to win. I have that attitude. I feel that way, and it's not overconfidence thing. It's football sense.
Talking about guaranteeing we're going to win, yeah, that's right. That's the way we felt.
However, that didn't stop the flashy QB from standing by his words. It should be said that the Jets' win was the result of a rushing touchdown and 3 field goals. Namath was named MVP, sure, but he actually didn't throw a single touchdown pass during the game. Still, a win is a win, right?
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions. They have upset the Baltimore Colts and beat them handily here today.
And it made Namath's promise feel like a spoiler. In the end, the New Orleans Mercedes-Benz Superdome's Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.